Good evening everybody, it's Sandy Turner here. A little bit sunburnt, still here though, worse for wear, but still got a long fight ahead of us. Deebing Creek mission, established in the 1890s, closed as an Aboriginal mission in 1915, never ever had the lease extinguished until 1974. A lot of the Yuggera people from around here have got their descendants buried out there. The Queensland government of the day used to bring in Aboriginals from other areas. So it wasn't just the Yuggera there was other groups. And each group, each mob, each tribe had their own way of interring their deceased. And they had different areas for it. Now, what's been mapped out there at the moment is simply what the Presbyterians recorded. It's the same as one of our grave sites where the bodies are laid out in a confined area, whereas when the Aboriginals were left to do it without white man's influence, they'd choose their own spots and their methods and how they did it. They had their own ways of doing it. Now, through word of mouth, it's been passed down where these remains are. That land's very, very significant to them. Not only that, there's Bora Rings. Now, Bora Rings are part of men's business, and over thousands of years the men would go around this ring and the soil would be compacted, and that's very, very significant to them as well. There's other items of significance out there. What's happening though is through our law, what was a permanent lease selection stamped, sealed by Queen Victoria in 1897 as a permanent lease selection, has been turned around into agricultural land and then in turn sold off freehold. We've now got developers going out there, to wit on this particular selection, Fraser Group. Now, Fraser Group want to put housing up on a lot of it. They're happy to keep this little slice undeveloped. Just put up, little brass plaques and nice little walking trails in between. They basically destroy the place. What they don't want is for the truth to get out. Okay, that truth is that there are other bodies buried out there. Now, the group that I'm working with, we've got access to a ground penetrating radar. Now, this isn't the old 2D stuff that just gave indications of something being there. This is a 3D 40 by 40 ground penetrating radar, high definition, and it actually shows the shape of what's down there. It doesn't just do slice technology, this is a picture technology. And it doesn't just give an indication, it shows a picture. Frasers are dead scared of this technology. They will lose a lot of that land that they want to build houses on. How would you be? Are you fine with it if you're living in a house that's built on the bones of dead people? Basically that's what it's going to boil down to. You'll be out doing your gardening one day and you'll go nice and deep for your veggie garden, and up will come a femur, or a skull. How are you going to feel? Okay, we're out there at the end of Grampian Drive, Deebing Creek, Deebing Heights rather, Deebing Creek Mission. We're going to be out there each day. The police came in and forcibly removed the Yuggera people from this mission today at the request of Scott Ullman from Fraser Group. We went to court last week. We're in land court. What we were chasing, or what we were looking for, was an interlocutory injunction. That means an interim injunction to make Fraser stop all work until such time as the proper injunction is heard. Now that's on the 28th of May 2019. 22 days clear from now. At this point in time, by order of the Land Court, the Yuggera and Frasers are supposed to be in mediation. That's right, mediation. Frasers have instead come in. There was 3 people on site. They've come in with nearly 70 Queensland police officers. They've escalated what was a peaceful situation. There was no need to remove those people now, not unless you're about to go through it with a bulldozer. There was 3 people there. They've escalated it. Unnecessarily. It's been all over the news tonight. We've had ugly clashes and we've had people using all sorts of language and emotions are up there. They don't need to be. They really don't need to be. Frasers are escalating this because they don't want to lose any more land, because they don't want that ground penetrating radar out there, so therefore they've moved in with the police. I'll put up a little bit of footage from today after this. I do hope you watch it just to see what Frasers and the police have escalated this into. What was a nice, peaceful protest, and if Frasers had every intention of complying with that interim order given by Chairwoman Fleur Wingham in the Land Court, if they had every intention of abiding by that, there was no reason to remove these people because we still had a court date coming up. They'd made it clear in the last one that they were going to do preliminary works. As much as the Yuggera weren't keen on that, it was accepted that that was going to happen. Are we going to see bulldozers come through? Are we going to see the same? Remember the Dean brothers with Cloudland? A few years ago now, but do you remember that? Are we going to see that again? Oops afterwards, big slap on the wrist. Yep, we'll cop $1 million. Oh, there's nothing left there now. Come on, Australia. Get behind it. We're better than this. Frasers, Scott Ullman, Queensland State Government, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
See ya.
Stay back here, Terry, don't risk the camera, mate. Rightio, the police have got the mace out. They haven't been physically assaulted. People are not threatening them. They're coming over the top. This land was given to these people in 1897 under the seal of Queen Victoria. They were shifted from here, forcibly, in 1915 to Perga. The lease was never, ever extinguished.
Always was! Always will be! Always was! Always will be! Aboriginal land! Always was! Always will be!
In 1974, the permanent lease selection was converted under a newly written Lands Act from 1962 to make it agricultural land under Sir Joe Bajokia Peterson. He bought his cattle out here to graze on the new lease. It was sold freehold in 1984. These people were dispossessed under the seal of Queen Victoria. They were dispossessed in 1974 when that seal was ignored. Okay, I'm going to have to stop recording, the light's getting too low. G'day everyone, Sandy Turner here, independent candidate for Blair. I've been out here all day. Fraser Group are stealing land from the Yuggera people. It was done through law many years ago, the theft, but we can't allow it to go ahead. There are culturally significant items on that ground. Karen, could you please tell us about those?
We know that our grandparents, great-grandparents, were brought here to this place, to Deebing Creek. It was the first point of contact between traditional peoples and the British that came in here. It was the early days of the 1800s, and over a course of time there was the diaspora, dispossession, stolen generations, stolen wages as they worked these lands, put it in trust, had it removed somehow. We're asking for an inquiry into how it's become freehold land and up for development. We don't know how this has happened when we've been excluded from a lot of the process. We've only come in the last 5 seconds of this deal. We want it stopped. This is our grannies. We suspect our great-great-grandmother's burial place is here because she lived here. We don't know where she's buried. We're still trying to find those things out. We've also got a few other relatives, not just here, but they got removed from Deebing, taken to Palm Island, down to Fingal, out to New Zealand as stolen generations. We're getting over that, but we want to be reconnected back to our lands and our culture and our history. It's not just our history, it's national history. We are a part of these lands just like the wider public. Why is it only our culture that's targeted to be annihilated when every other cultural group in the world is represented well in Australia? Then we turn around and we've got the police, state government has Aboriginal organisations called DATSIP, QSNTS. DATSIP is the Department of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Partnerships, which sits under Jackie Trad. And we have the QSNTS also, which is the state government's Native Title Service. That was all party to the sale of Deebing Creek. I've asked the Governor of Queensland to please intervene, as his mandate is to maintain harmony within the lands on Britain's account. We're not Australian citizens, we're Yuggera people. We've never ever been Australian citizens. We are sovereigns, the original sovereigns of these lands. We want an investigation. We want to come to the table and sort this mess out. We can't be being dispossessed. It's 2019.
A land that was stolen through law, historically. We need the Queensland Parliament to look into this properly. This can't be brushed over. Once they run the bulldozers through here, we can't just go say, oh sorry, there's $1 million fine and that development company just cops that. We can't allow that. As soon as we allow that, we have lost that history. We've lost that heritage. We cannot replace that. I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, please stand with us, okay, as Australians, not as Aboriginals, not as whitefellas, as Australians, okay, we're all on this country. We need you to stand with us on this. Get behind it, letters to the editor, ring Jackie Trad, email her, come down here. We're at the end of Grampian Drive on Deebing Heights. Come down here. We're not going anywhere. Come on, get behind us. Thank you. We've lost the plot with that. Yeah. Come on, guys. Come and stand with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.